So here's a look at square number 8 for our Tunisian Afghan blanket or throw. You can't really see it too well. Sorry, this blue, it's really beautiful when you have it right in front of you, but it's really terrible for the camera, so you can't really see it too much. I am going to make the sample today using the lighter yarn, so you should be able to see it better. But here's a look at the front, and here's a look at the back. So it's quite simple. It is a 2-row repeat, worked in multiples of, well, 2. So any even number will do. For this 8-inch by 8-inch square, or the 20 centimeters, it's going to be a chain of 28. If you're making it for any other project, any even number will do. All right, so I'm not going to show you how to do the slip knot or how to do a chain. We've done it in all of the other videos. So if you are new to this series, I'm going to link it right up here. You can start from square 1 if you want to, so that's going to be the playlist. But we're going to chain 28. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And once you've made your chain, it'll look like this. We're going to start with a foundation row. Now this is a regular foundation row, so we're going to skip the first stitch like we always do. We're going to go into the second one, so you just insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over, and pull up a loop. Leave the loop on your hook. Go into the next one, insert your stitch, yarn over, oh, don't let it go though, and pull up a loop. Insert your, not the stitch, your hook. What is this thing called? The hook. Yep, so you're just going to cast on stitches like this until you get to the end of the row. You should have the same number of loops as you did chains, so if you made the chain of 28, you should have 28 loops on your hook by the time you're done casting on everything. So I've just got a few more left here, and there we go. All right, so what makes this stitch a little bit different than all the other ones, or at least some of the other ones that we've worked on, is the return pass. So the return pass for all of your, I guess, what is it, for the foundation row, and then for rows 2 and all of your even numbered rows are going to be just like this. So you're going to begin with a chain 2. So yarn over and chain 1, yarn over, chain 2, and then we're going to yarn over and pull through 3. So yarn over, pull through 1, 2, 3. Chain 1. So yarn over and chain, and then again yarn over, pull through 3. And that's what you're going to do for the rest of the row. So yarn over, pull through 1, 2, 3, chain, yarn over, pull through 1, 2, 3, and then chain, and so forth and so on until you get to the end of the row. So when you get to the end, it's going to look a little bit different. So let me get to the end here. You're going to be left with 2 loops. You're going to make your chain, and then you're going to still be left with the 2 loops. So you're going to yarn over and pull through 2. And that's it. So it's going to give you a little space like this. So here's a look at this row. So it's got an inverted V right here with the 2 vertical stitches together. So for row number 1, we're going to skip this first chain space. So we're going to skip here, and you're going to skip the vertical stitches. What we're going to do is we're going to yarn over. So skip here, this chain space, skip these stitches, and in the second chain space, so right in here, you're going to insert your hook into the stitch, yarn over, and pull up a loop. And note that it is just the chain space. So it doesn't go into this chain, it goes into the chain space right here. So you're going to cast on 1, you're going to skip the inverted vertical stitches right here. You're just going to yarn over, skip those, and go into this next chain space. Insert your hook, yarn over, and pull up a loop. Yarn over, skip the inverted stitches, in the next chain space, cast on. Yarn over, skip the inverted stitches, and cast on. So for those of you that are going to be maybe looking at the written pattern for this, which I'm not going to release until I have all 30 squares, and it'll be a full pattern. It's going to be super, super long. I think it's going to be like 25 to 30 pages. Yeah, it's going to be lengthy. So for those of you that want that pattern, that's what it's going to say. It's going to say the cast on. All right, so when you get to the end, you're going to have your inverted stitches, you're going to have this chain space, and then you have your final stitch of the row. We are going to yarn over, skip these stitches, cast on into the chain space, and cast on into the final stitch of the row. And there we go. So for this return pass for row number 1, it is just a regular return pass. So you yarn over, pull through 1, and then for all of the remaining loops on your hook, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, yarn over, pull through 2, until you are left with just 1 loop on your hook. So this one's pretty easy. All right, I can't go any faster than this. I'm trying. I just don't want to miss any of the loops and then it messes up my small sample. All right, so here we go. Once you've got this, row number 2 is quite simple. It is just a knit stitch row. So you're going to knit stitch into every single one of the vertical stitches. For those of you that are more advanced, stop once you've cast on all of your knit stitch, because we're going to do that return pass that we did for the foundation row. So stop before you work on the return pass. There we go. All right, for those of you that are a little bit newer to the world of crochet, the vertical stitch is made up of 2 legs. So here's the back leg, here's the front leg. You're going to insert your hook in between both of these to the back, yarn over, and pull up a loop. Always skip the first vertical stitch since you had already had it on your hook. So begin on the second one. All right, you go into the next vertical stitch, which this one's a little bit closer together, but you've got the 2 legs of the stitch. You're going to insert your hook between the 2 legs of the vertical stitch, yarn over, and pull up a loop. So I don't know if I should show you, but my kid's here. She was hanging out in the room with me while I'm filming. She's sleeping over there because I set this thing, it's on the ground. So I don't know if you could see, it's on the carpet. So there's my carpet. So I just sit on the ground when I film. Here, I'll maybe move the camera, hold on. See if you can see her foot. Where is she? There's her skirt. Okay, so she's over there. I don't know if you can hear her snoring. She fell asleep. She was snoring pretty loud. All right, back to the crochet. I know you totally wanted to hear about my private life, right? Okay, let's go over here. We've got the vertical stitch. We're just going to knit stitch. There's the next vertical stitch. You're also going to knit stitch, and then knit stitch, and knit stitch. So you're going to do this in every single one of the vertical stitches. Let's go even faster. That's the only bad thing about making these bigger samples. Like, I love being able to show you guys the bigger samples, but they take a little bit longer to crochet. So yeah, and I'm kind of being lazy and I don't really want to pause the filming. So once you get to the end of the row, cast on into this final stitch, and there you go. All right, so here we go. Wow, the world is just super loud today. There's like the FedEx driver outside, and now he's being super loud too. All right, so for row number 2, we've already cast on all of our knit stitches. We're gonna work that, I guess, special return pass. So it begins with a chain of 2. So chain 1, chain 2, and then yarn over, pull through 3. So here are 3 loops. So yarn over, pull through 1, 2, 3, and then chain. Yarn over, pull through 3, chain, yarn over, pull through 3, chain, and so forth until you get to the end. You're going to be left with the 2 loops. Remember to cast on that chain. I don't know if I could say cast on for that, but let's call it a cast on because, well, why not? So once you get to the end like this, chain 1, and then yarn over and pull through 2. And there we go. From here on out, you're just going to repeat rows 1 and 2. So this is going to be the row where you skip this chain space, you skip these vertical stitches, and you go into this one. So yarn over, skip, skip, and cast on. Yarn over, skip, cast on, and so forth. So just repeat rows 1 and 2 until you have a total of 26 rows. You're going to end on a row 2 repeat. The row 2 is the knit stitch row. When you finish that row 2 repeat, row number 27 is going to be your bind off. So I'll show you the bind off here in a minute. Let me just make a bigger sample and yeah, we'll get to it. Oh my gosh, my kid is snoring so loud. I'm gonna have to see if I can I don't know if you can hear it. I hope you can't. If you can, I'm gonna see if I can remove it in editing, but no promises. So if you can hear her snoring, I'm so sorry. She's 7, she's adorable, and she just wants to hang out. So I don't really want to kick her out. All right, I'm gonna continue making the sample. I will see you guys again here in just a moment. Okay, bye. So once you've completed 26 rows, or whenever you're ready for a bind off, you're going to need to end in a row 2 repeat. So your stitching is going to look like this, where you've got the upside down or the inverted V's. So once you reach a row like this, you're ready to begin a bind off. I mean, I guess if you're going to be completing your project at that point, right? But this bind off is going to be a single crochet bind off. Now I know we've done this several times before in other crochet projects here, and I think in several of the other squares as well. But for this stitch, we were skipping that first chain space, but we are going to be crocheting it for the, what is this called? The bind off row. So you're going to insert your hook into the chain space and pull up a loop. Once you have 2 loops on your hook, you're going to close in a single crochet. So you're going to yarn over and you're going to pull that top loop through the 2 bottom ones. Now for the next one, you're going to single crochet 2 together. So we're going to take both of these vertical stitches. You're going to insert your hook right behind the first leg or the top leg of the stitch. So there's the first one and the second one. So I know it's a little exaggerated, but that way you guys can see it. But pull up a loop like that. And once you've got both loops on your hook, you are going to yarn over and close in a single crochet. So yarn over and pull through 2. So that is a single crochet 2 together. I think we did that, I don't know, a square or 2 ago. But continuing on, you're going to insert your hook into the chain space and then again close in a single crochet. Then we're going to single crochet 2 together, taking both of these vertical stitches like so. So see, the last one was pretty exaggerated. So this one's a little bit more like what it looks like. So you're just going to continue your single crochet, I guess, what is it? Tunisian crochet, single crochet bind off. What we're doing. You're just going to continue until you complete the row. Once you get to the end of the row, you're just going to cast on 1, and it's basically just a single crochet. But this is what your bind off is going to look like. But when you get to the end, which I'm going to try to hurry here, don't forget to single crochet into the chain space, and then single crochet into this last stitch, which is the one that you normally just cast on in at the end. Chain 1 to make a small knot, and then cut your tail of yarn and weave them in. So you're going to have 2 tail ends like that, but that's how you're going to work that bind off. Now let me show you what this sample looks like, because I did make a slightly bigger sample. So here's the one in blue, which is the one that I showed you at the beginning of the tutorial. I'm not sure if you can see it too well, but I made a slightly bigger one in like the off-white beige yarn that I've been using. So this is what the stitch looks like. So here's the front. Oh, I've got it upside down. I'm so sorry. So here's the top part. And if you turn it around, this is what the back looks like. But there we go. So that was stitch number 8 for our AFCAD project. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, you go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you'd like to see more of my work, you can always visit my Instagram page. It's going to be @modebespoke, or you can find all of the patterns and other projects on my website, and that's modebespoke.com. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you all again next week.